Okay, hello everybody. Hello. Today is our 10th uh, poetry evening, and I'm happy to see you all here. And let's see what we have. So, uh, we have a first poem by Clover. Seth, would you be so kind and read this one out?
Yeah, sure. The new year's here, but there's no time to wipe away those tears that the swallow stayed past the iciest frost to carry like jewels into the homes of the lost. Your feet, they trudge on and on, the shackles of yesterday clinging tightly, the shadows dark and heavily dragging. Every step forward seems to be sinking. At the heart of it all, the flame burns small and bright. Every time you picked yourself up after a fall, you added a little more sparkle to that light and another crack to that wall. So, warrior of love, keep growing through that mud. Slash those thorny vines with the sword, forged from the blood of the heart. For every cry echoes in the soul, and every embrace makes us more whole. By Clover.
We embrace make us more whole. Wow. Yeah. I feel this is although this poem does not have title, it's like a suitable in the beginning of this new year. I feel every new year and every end of the old year has like some struggles before the very new can truly beginning. Uh, and here she can express those inner struggles. But there's no time to wipe away those tears that the swallows they passed in the iciest frost. Yeah, for me, always the end of the year and the Christmas time is uh, somehow related to the snow and frost. So this makes perfect sense here also. And carry like jewels into the homes of the lost. Hmm. Your feet they drew thee on and on, shackles of yesterday clinging tightly. Yes, we can think that these memories that we are clinging, they're like shackles holding us back and dragging us down. At the heart of it all, a flame burns small and bright. Every time you picked yourself up after a fall, you added little more sparkle to that light. Yeah, such a such a beautiful way to express this idea that we're fighting our way closer and closer to the light. Every creature has a light in them. And another crack to that wall. So warrior of love, keep growing through that mud. So she's talking to herself and all the warriors of love. We can name ourselves the warriors of love and keep growing through that mud. It's like also like a little bit this lotus flower symbology. And this word pours from blood of the heart, blood of the heart. Yeah. And for every cry echoes in the soul, and every embrace make us more whole. That is true. Do you have some thoughts about this poem?
I think it does a good job of describing this idea that sometimes it's the hard things that we go through that help us the most. You know, the the sword forged from the blood of the heart. That's what allows this person to cut through those vines of whatever it is that's holding them back. And then the very end, every cry echoes in the soul, and every embrace makes us more whole. Uh, it's kind of this idea that sometimes seeing other people's pain instead of scaring you or making you shy away, sometimes they can do the opposite. I don't know.
Yeah. And everybody must go through that anyway, but like to realize that like you are the warrior, like well, I mean, in Bhagavad Gita you had Arjuna and Krishna, and Arjuna was the warrior, but there was this one line that they say that let the inner warrior, let the like higher self be the warrior, and you're just in their like vehicle, and let the higher fight this fight. And I think the higher is definitely the warrior of love. Keep growing through that mud. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of references to light on the path in this, I think. The blood of the heart. For the soul can stand in the presence of the master, its feet must be washed in the blood of the heart. And that
Yes.
line, look for the warrior and let him fight in you. Stand aside and take his battles, or take his orders for battle as if they were their own. And that's from Light on the Path too.
Lovely. For every cry echoes in the soul. Yeah. Like in the light of the path, it also say you have to be a death to the cries of like ordinary or um, ordinary world, or like, and I guess not the cries of the others, but the cries of yourself, like cries of your lower self. But for every cry that echoes in the soul. And every embrace make us more whole. Yes, embrace in itself is like something that unites, something make us more whole, getting closer to that. I do not know. She's telling that New Year's is here, but there's no time to wipe away those tears that were from the past. We just have to go further and become more whole. Yeah. I wish Clover would be here and could tell a few words about what he had in mind. I know that she visited some country that had a lot of snow. I saw the pictures, so I guess she got a little bit inspiration from there. But it's a definitely very lovely one. I think if you don't mind, then we can go on next one. So basically some people send me poems of their own, and some people send me some poems that has a lot of been a great inspiration from themselves. So Sviatoslav sent this William Butler East poem, and I can read this one. The Great Spirit Prayer. Beloved, gaze in thy own heart. The holy tree is growing there. From joy the holy branches start, and all the trembling flowers they bear. The changing colors of its fruits have drawn the stars with merry lights. The surety of its hidden root has planted quiet in the night. The shaking of its leafy head has given the waves their melody, and made my lips and music wed, murmuring a wizard song for thee. There the loves a circle go, the flaming circle of our days, carrying, spearing to and fro in those great ignorant leafy waves, remembering all that shaken hair, and how the winged sandals start. Thine eyes grow full of tender care. Beloved, gaze in thine own heart. Gaze no more with the bitter glass, the demons with their subtle guile. Lift up before us when they pass, or only gaze a little while. For there's a fatal image grows, that the stormy night receives. Roots half hidden under snows, broken both and blackened leaves. For all things turn to barrenness in the dim glass of demons hold, the glass of outer weariness, made when God slept in times of old. There through the broken branches go the ravens of unresting thought, flying, crying, and fro, cruel claw and hungry throat. Or else they stand and sniff the wind, and shake their ragged wings, alas. Thy tender eyes grow all unkind, gaze no more in the bitter glass. Wow.
My first impression is he's kind of comparing the peacefulness of certain nature spirits like trees and things to the the non-resting kind of violently always seeking thoughts that humans have. Here at the end with the ravens kind of embodying that. I could be off, but that's just my first thought.
Yeah. Lots of about the tree, the leaves, the hidden roots, and yeah, and how there's this demon. And if I understand correctly, the demon is lift up before when they pass, is somehow um, making roots half hidden under snow, broken thoughts and blackened leaves. Like this demon is connected to the like a time passing and the um, like tree is losing its life and but also under snow it's sleeping, like the leaf blackened so in the next spring they can come again. And then he continues, in the dim glass the demon hold, the glass of outer weariness, made when God slept in times of old. The true of broken branches go the raven of unresting thought. Ravens of unresting thought. Yeah, unresting thought like could be compared to ravens who are like yeah, flying, crying, and fro, cruel claw and hungry throat. Or else they stand and sniff the wind and shake their ragged wings, harass. Thy tender eyes grow all unkind, cast no more in bitter glass. I guess if you contemplate too much in those raven unresting thoughts, then if you let your mind go play with that, then your tender eyes grow all unkind. So better not to look so much into this glass. But what is this glass? It says the glass of outer awareness.
Yeats was a member of the Theosophical Society, right?
Yes,
I think
yes.
that yeah.
I think he even met Blavatsky or lived in similar times.
Mhm. Yeah, and
Uh,
that makes me look at this poem as kind of like a repackaging of theosophical ideas in a format that someone with a bend towards poetry would like, uh, probably as an act of service to help them.
hmm, hmm, yeah.
And I may be reading too much into things, but when when I see a good movie or a good TV show, I found a lot of those same theosophical ideas underneath of it, and I wonder if that's a common thing in in literature and entertainment. Uh, the people who really excel in that field are the people who have also seen these things for themselves, and they do the same thing as Yeats here, try and repackage it for the world at large.
I think you're right. I have the same thing. And sometimes I think whether this person who made the film or this, I don't know, masterpiece, actually had this in mind, what I'm reading out of it. Maybe they had something else, but like they say, there's always at least two uh, like creators in a piece of art. One is who actually made this, and the other one is who is interpreted it, who is looking at it. And yes, in that wise, I feel uh, those ideas like ageless, and they come out like in many places if you are able to see it. And the holy tree is growing there. Well, there's several like uh, Setiroth, I think, is one of the trees, uh, and there are I think in Norse there are also holy tree that's holds the world, and uh, yeah, there's several holy trees in mythology, and surely it is hidden roots as planted quiet in the night. So it's not just a simple tree. It is quiet in the night, like in astral world. Shaking of its leafy head has given waves their melody. Yeah, I think so. I- In those great ignorant leafy ways, remembering all that shaken here and how the winged sandal dark. Wing sandals. That's a little hint for Hermes, who was wearing winged sandals and who was a messenger of the gods. Thy eyes grow full of tender care, beloved, gaze in thy own heart. So I think the message is gaze no more in the bitter glass, because in this bitter glass, that demon are seeing how the ravens are and unwrestling thoughts are, and if you stare too long there, then your eyes become unkind because they bit by bit change you also. So
Yeah, it makes sense. And I wonder if it's not merely a poetic metaphor, if I wonder if he's saying that if you get lost in these thoughts for too long, you attract elementals or these entities who feed off that kind of energy. So now it's not just you getting lost in the thoughts, you're attracting these other things that are going to pull you down even further, like those
mhm.
ravens. And yeah, I wonder if you could actually see that. And he's writing about things that he's seen in himself or others.
I think Butler East might really in kind of seen on or feel it the way he put it here in such a nice and metaphorical way. Because he must have thought about those things. Like he wrote many nice, very nice poems. So I, no, there's people who are thinking about but it's another level that you think and you're able to, come out and put some of those things in a way, in a words, so others could, grasp it. But yeah, maybe this is our lesson from here that there's a holy tree, and when we are ignorant, we are still a little bit ignorant in these leafy ways, but let's not get too stuck to this class of outer awareness and try to see what is godly. But I like that also in this poem also the roots under the snow, like that the snow was something that is like theme that comes up in both poems. And it's time of winter in like half of the world right now. But I would go on a little bit, if it's okay. So this poem is written by Gabriele. If you're Ria, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Would you like to read this one?
Yes. The pulse of nothing. The world begins where certainty breaks. Each step is taken on dissolving ground. Light is only the shadow of its source. Silence keeps what sound can't hold. I seek the truth that erases the seeker. I touch the void and find a pulse. Every thought is a door that vanishes the moment I try to cross it. We grow from wounds that never close. We speak in echoes older than breath. Time flows, refusing its own path, yet carry us like drifting sparks. Nothingness listens within our names. It shapes us by undoing shape. And in that trembling, fragile unmatching, we become the place where absence thinks.
This is so beautiful.
It is.
Wow.
It shows it's another poem written by a theosophist, I think. All three of them.
Gabriele wrote it. Wow. Wow. I like many places here, but and in the trembling, fragile unmaking, we become the place where absence thinks. So if you meditate and come from meditation or this back to this thinking, then if you're, how can I say, if you're coming like oneness to this thinking mode, and actually you're still in this, so it's like the wholeness is thinking through you. This is a lovely thought, I think, also like very theosophical. And nothingness listens beneath our names, things we name and ours, nothingness. It shapes us by undoing shape. What does it mean? It shapes us by undoing shape.
I think it ties back to that first stanza, which seems to be a really good description of trying to leave one world for another. I'm thinking of, like the constitution of man and how we go from one plane of existence to the next. The world begins where certainty breaks seems to me like describing when the lower mind begins to realize it doesn't know anything at all. You begin to, see a little bit of where you actually are and how much you don't know. And it's almost as if a whole nother world begins. That's what it makes me think.
Yes. Yeah. So beautifully said. World begins where certainty breaks. Each step is taken on dissolving ground. They say the life begins out of comfort zone. It's like the same thing. What is outside the comfort? Comfort is something that is like steady and you can predict what happens. But if you are going somewhere, then the world begins where certainty breaks. Yeah, this is true. You grow, you start growing when you take a chance, even if you don't know how it's going to end. You have like, wait, that there must be something more. Each step is taken on dissolving ground. Light is only the shadow of its source. Light is only the shadow of its source. Silence keeps what sound can't hold. This is such a beautifully said. Because silence keeps much more than, sound can express, like purely energetically. But what do you mean? Light is only the shadow of its source.
Maybe that which we think is so important down here that seems like our light, maybe it's pointing towards that being just a shadow of what, real light or real.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yes.
And I like this idea that you just mentioned of, stepping outside of our comfort zones of how we grow and whatnot. And this is a little off track, but I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that at the same time because, for people who are a little more sensitive, it's extremely easy to be in a situation where you're uncomfortable. Where almost any situation in the outside world makes you uncomfortable. And that doesn't really help growth. I think it can just overwhelm someone to the point where now they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So
Just because it's
I
uncomfortable.
think about that. Yeah.
Also, this metaphor that the flower blossoms when, it being in a pod is more painful than, being open up, because you don't know what happens, but it's like it's more, or like the little chick came out of the egg. It's time like that. It's too much, like you don't know what comes out if you come, but it's unbearable to be inside and to come out and discover a whole new world after that. And this is also like the little uncomfortable things around should not be the reason like what should hold us back. I think person grows by going through those uncomfortable things. I'm not sure if was it Hodgson or somebody else who wrote that the spiritual age of a person can be determined by how long time it takes for him to notice that he has making a mistake and then like mending it or start doing something about to repair this mistake. Like if I noticed I have like in my character something that needs to be, that is not in a perfect condition, and then start doing something about it. Or like you are in an uncomfortable situation, but then you start doing something. You don't just sit there. You start solving it. So you don't just go back and say, oh, yeah, this is not it.
I
So
really like that. I hadn't heard that before. And it's kind of comforting too, because it's not the mistake that matters. It's how quickly you can realize you made a mistake and then correct for it.
exactly.
So yeah, so maybe mistakes are good as long as you realize you're doing them quickly.
Exactly. And you realize, and you don't, yeah, it is what it is. There's another story about like there's a monks, and there's this one monk who makes a lot of mistakes, but then he asks his teacher, and teacher explain him what mistake he did, and then okay. And when the other monks are doing the mistakes, they got scolded, and they are like, "Why are you scolding us? You never scold this person." And then the teacher says, "But this person, every time he makes a mistake, he never repeats it. He's doing a new mistake, but he's not repeating. If you understand that is a mistake, but you're repeating the same one." So they got scolded because of that. But that's the thing, that it's not bad to make a mistake. And also the other one that has said that the master have probably 1,000 times more failed than the student have ever tried. So it's not about making mistakes. It's about getting up and trying some more. Yeah. And seek the truth that erases the seeker. Well, that is very much philosophical in that sense, that the seeker is like, in the beginning at least, like there's a slight hint of egoism there, that I want the truth, and if this I ceases to be and the truth are there more and more, then this is like the truth that worth looking for. I touch the void. Yeah.
That line reminds me of Light on the Path too. There's a part where seek only that which is within you, seek only that which is beyond you, and seek only that which is unattainable. Uh, it, in this poem, he said that a lot more succinctly and clearly than they did in Light on the Path, I think.
Yes.
I find his poem has a lot of depth.
Yes,
Like
definitely.
every sentence, right, is a truth itself.
Yes.
Like something you are also practicing. Like, like I seek the truth is like how you erase your ego,
Mm-hmm.
how you erase your judgment, and then how you get rid of all this so that you can find the truth behind it. Yeah.
Definitely. I think he has, that comes to my mind. He has read something truly philosophical, and then he just pour like something of his out. And I'm thinking like, maybe we should, have like a secret doctrine reading session. And after that, like, let's write poems.
Yeah,
And
something like that. Like this is like a secret doctrine kind of poem.
yes, But I mean, it might not be secret doctrine. It might be many things, because I know he reads a lot and he has a quite nice library in his home. But yeah, definitely. I touch the void and find a pulse. I guess in meditation. Every thought is a door that vanishes. So that's a nice, because you can open the door and go on, but you let it vanish. I think it speaks like in a meditation. The moment I try to cross it. Maybe he understands that it is unreal, like it vanishes. It's a thought only. We grow from wounds that never close. We grow from wounds that never close. What are the wounds that never close? I mean, I think that if we have learned a lesson, then it will close. But maybe if we haven't learned the lesson, then it's not closed unless we finally. There's some, some situations are like hurtful, and in that sense, they are wounds that have not totally closed.
It's like everything. It makes me think of another line from Light of the Path. Before the soul can stand in the presence of the masters, its feet must be washed in the blood of the heart. That's a wound that never closes. And it's open to a lot of interpretation, that line. What is that word? But maybe in at least one interpretation, it's being incarnated as a human, there's inherent limitations in that. And if you're fully aware of that and self-aware of who and what you are, there's pain involved in that just by existing here.
Yes, just being a human being, there's a pain involved. Pain in, pain, like baby has pain by being born or growing teeth, or, so many times falling while learning to walk, and growing the muscles and growing the bones. It's actually painful to. I remember I had these pains, my legs that were growing, or some others, and then we get comfortable in a body, and then people get older and they start having different kinds of physical pains, but the pain can be, a lot of wounds, like it could be psychological and like a mental, like emotional wounds. Yeah, as a human being, we always have some like wounds in that sense, metaphorically. Yeah. We speak the echoes older than breath. This is so beautifully said. Those echoes could be like older than breath. What was in before the breath, before the human breath? I mean, I guess there was an idea of a human or perfect being coming, and echoes, then it might be like kind of vibration. And we speak, well, we speak and we live in those, they're like in a background, they're like our blueprints, if I can say that.
Yeah,
The-
I like this line. It's really beautiful. I think it's both literally and metaphorically true. If the theosophical cosmology is correct, then we as spiritual beings were here before, the earth was even fully created, doing whatever we did back then. In which case we didn't breathe because there's no atmosphere. And yet those echoes, the karma of that time, is still here with us now. Like maybe all four of us were these immaterial entities back then, doing whatever they do. And because of those, because of the way the karma works, we're, talking over the internet right now. Who knows?
Yeah. We probably weren't talking in this way and we weren't thinking in this way, but whatever needs, it's like all the time, like unfolding, and what never hold waits us ahead needs us to go through this state of life where we master this speaking and thinking in this way, and then go even further than breathing period, because I don't know if we will breathe, if we will lose the physical bodies. And they say that if the evolution goes on, then one day, the soul doesn't need anymore the physical body when it has learned all the lessons. So in that sense, yeah, it is older than breath and will be like lasting even the last breath have been taken. Those echoes.
It reminds me a couple of weeks ago, I was in Cortona for Mary Kay, you're in the partners program too. That's what I was there for.
Yes.
And
Yes, yeah.
we started talking about root rounds and races in one of the classes, which is a bit of a touchy subject in theosophy because it's very easy for it to be misinterpreted as something racist when it's not. It has
Yeah.
almost nothing to do with race. But there was an idea for a symposium in Crotona in the future to really go deep into that idea of what it would be like for us as we evolve through those different, root rounds and chains. And I think that would be really interesting if we could like study up on what is described for that period in time back then, and then try to like meditatively look at it and feel what it would be like, because that those states of back then are the building block of what we are now, and each iterative, increase in that spiral is adding something onto it. So I think that if we try hard enough, we really could exist as we were back then, in a meditative state. And maybe that would help us understand who and what we are now. Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
idea. I don't know how doable it is, but it made me think of that.
We could try, yes. I hope, yeah, to maybe I can see if you had some recordings of that to see some of it. And I hope I could also one day visit the Crotona very much. Yeah. Time folds, refusing its own path, yet carries us like drifting sparks. I wonder what is it, refusing its own path. Time folds, yes, it's goes in a certain way. We can say it's false, refusing its own path.
Maybe this idea of live neither in the present nor the future, which is time unfolding, but live in the eternal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, definitely. But still, it carries us as a drifting sparks on, as long as we are in this thinking in a present and future, and as long as we do not live in this eternal, we are like drifting sparks in it. In that sense, yes. And nothingness listens beneath our names, like shapes. Yeah, this is such a wonderful poem. And we become a place where absent thinks. And one day it will be nice to hear what Gabriel also thought by writing it. But even without it, and even just knowing a little bit about the Theosophical literature, it is certainly a pearl of its own.
I hope he tells us that we were completely off. It had nothing to do with what we thought it was. That'd be great.
Yeah. So I take the next one. Now, Lakshmi, Kantam have suggested this one, the road not taken. I think this, I've heard this one before. I think it has gone through somewhere before. Oh wow. Sairam, would you, if you're here, would you like to read this one?
Yes,
Would you like to read this one?
Yes, I
Thank
will
you.
start. The road not taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where I went in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better climb, because it was grassy and we wanted beer. So as for that the crossing there had warned them really about the shame, and both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads onto way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. By Robert Frost.
Thank you. Yes. Before I ask to people to give the most inspiring poems, and I also love very much this one. And you know what I feel this is talking about? I think it talks about, how can I say a bodhisattva way? Like you can go to enlighten, you can go to nirvana, or you can choose the other way and stay back and help the humanity. I don't know if it's this one, but there was two ways in the boot, and he chose the one that is less traveled. And he says, I do not know if I ever come back to try out the other way. I doubt if I should ever come back, but I shall be telling this with sight. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads there was and I took this one that is less traveled, and that has made all the difference. And I think we also make the choice long time before we really reach this possibility to choose, whether to go to nirvanic bliss or whether to go and stay and work onwards. Yes, I feel this is what it talks about. What do you think?
I agree. Yeah, that makes sense. There's a book by Annie Besant, In the Outer Court, where it talks about two paths, one going straight up to this temple, and then the other one winds around and around really slow. Makes me
The
think of
outer
that.
court.
Yeah.
Yes. This is a wonderful metaphor. Yes, the outer court that she talks that says that all humanity is going on top of this mountain, but very slowly around this big mountain. And there's some people who are going straight. And in the top of the mountain, there's the fort, and fort has like several layers. And like the outer court are like some of the students of like, and then there's some even more inside and the very inside. And I feel like this is like and those who reach there they have the possibility to help those who are on the road more quickly up there. And I think this is such a wonderful metaphor in that sense. And yeah, you can think also that those two roads, that one is the one that most of the people unknowingly still going on that direction on top of this mountain, and there's another road that is more hard because it's like, yeah, it takes a lot more effort to skip many steps and get more quickly up there. But in other words, it's worth. Please.
Oh, I was just going to say, how much easier would it be if we could actually see those two roads in real life, and they're not just ideas in our heads? You know, as everything gets harder, we don't have the benefit of looking and saying, "Oh, we're just on the steep path," and by doing this, we're helping other people faster. We don't see it at all. We just have to keep reminding ourselves, which is pretty hard to, especially when you're in the Kali Yuga, to not think you're just doing something really dumb for no reason. But yeah, it's just one issue with the metaphor that I wish we knew how to fix easier.
I think one moment we will see, but then it's not anymore that important to see. But it's, how can I say, it's like it's not a, it's just like a fate for the next step, but it's like I remember this one verse or like thought from the letters of the masters, where they say that there's like 100,000 fakirs who are like really close to the becoming nirvanic state, but they will never heard about us. But those people who are much less developed, but who are driving towards to help others on the road, they will have our like help. And I'm thinking like, we don't see the how can I say, we don't see the road, but I can like every once in a while feel that there must have been some kind of help. Like how can I say? There's nothing I can show on my finger and like concrete, but like that, in this hard situation, somehow, if you are sincere and if you truly put your effort, then it might work out. It's hard to put it into words, but
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, the way you put it makes sense, and yeah, I see and feel that sometimes too. I think it'd be nice if we could see the path, and I'm complaining a bit when I say that, but I think the reality is we're not meant to, and part of what we're doing here as humans is learning how to have faith that these things are real, and using those little experiences, like you just said, when things line up for a moment, and you see more. For some reason, we're meant to learn how to turn that into a kind of faith and based on experience. Yeah, and evidently that's part of why we're here too. So thank you. Yeah.
I think one moment we will see more. When the time comes, what did I read? I don't remember exactly. Was it Kim Dew, one of his lectures, or was it some book that I read recently? But these thoughts came through that or maybe it was timely self-realization or something. But anyway, this thought came through that if you want to have a understand what others, No, it was something like that. If you're very pure in our thoughts, then you start perceiving what other people are thinking. If you're very pure in your emotions, you start like feeling what other people are feeling. And I think this is the purification they tell us. It was more complicated way, but I got it like that was like the essence I got out of it. So I think if we are going further in this road and got more and more purified, then we do start to see the road, but in that sense that we become to be that road, like we're not like separate of that road in that sense. That you feel that this is the only right way, or like I imagine if you can totally be tuned in your Buddhic level and like intuition and see what needs to be done and the best way how to do it, and you don't care like how it is it like beneficial for your personal self or not, because you see that in a bigger picture this is something that needs to be done, and you leave these personal feelings behind and just do it. In that way you become part of the this path. So I think one moment we will start seeing more and more of this, but then we wouldn't be anymore the old I, or like, yeah. But nevertheless, I very much like this poem because there's two paths, and I think it's honorable to take the road less traveled. And also I think I vaguely remembered in Christianity that there's also the narrow path. I think they're one place they are talking about it, and it has a similar idea that the narrow is the path to the righteousness. Yeah. But I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. I wish I could also one day say like that. I guess. But now let's go further. I think we have one more poem today. This one. And this is by Leonardo's. Seth, would you like to read this one?
Yeah, sure. Time holds an ongoing conversation between forgotten aspirations and their acquired mastery, between dormant promises and their shining fulfillment, between the countless lessons and their learnings, between love shared and the transformation therefrom. Maybe time is born for light who experiences all at once, to savor the experience. One lesson at a time, lifetime by lifetime. What a precious gift time is. By Leonardo.
Again, we reach back the idea of time. But now we see the time as a precious gift, and it is a precious gift because we can have our experiences in that, and these experiences are by one lesson at a time, by lifetime, getting us closer to the light. And time holds ongoing conversations. In that sense, time is like inside the time, there's like a process going on, and we are all like a mini processes inside this big process of the world, coming and going. A conversation between forgotten aspirations and their acquired mastery. Do we have forgotten our aspirations? Yeah, if you think about many, many lifetimes ago, maybe we all were aspiring to reach back, the enlightened, blissful state and the acquired mastery.
It makes me think of when I was a kid, I really wanted to learn how to type on the computer. And then I did. And then I forgot I had that aspiration until right now because I had mastered how to type. So maybe it's like that with everything.
Yes, because when you acquire, then you don't. I remember when I was a child, I was thinking when I could learn how to read, then I will never ever be bored again. If I could only learn how to read. I remember when I was like young, I was thinking like that.
Did it work?
Well, I mean, I really feel like bored, but I have a lot of interesting books around me, but I don't read them as much as I would like to because it's not only boredom, it's also the energy level you have. I could read a very high book, but if I do not have like a physical energy to grasp the ideas, then it's no, I need like spiritual books. I need some. Yeah, the thing is, I have not many like books, just like a literature, like romances. I have mostly like theosophical spiritual books, and those books are like you cannot read too much of it at a time. So it is true. Yeah, it is definitely true, but you also that you reach that far, and then you notice there's other aspects also. You need some energy to do that. But yeah, forgotten aspirations and their acquired mastery, and the ongoing conversations between dormant promises and their shining fulfillment. Dormant means exactly like hidden.
Yeah, like asleep.
Yes, like sleeping promises and the shining fulfillment. Yeah, they're like in this process ever going. You have the beginning and you have the end. The beginning is the promise or decision to make something, to achieve something, and then the fulfillment is already there, but it takes time to but in a timeless state, it's already there.
Makes me think of this time delay between when we're working towards something and when the fruit of that comes into existence. Like if we're working to change something about ourselves to be able to better help other people, we can work on that really hard for a lifetime. What's an example? Like, I don't know, if you want to learn how to read people so that you can help them where they're at, you can try to do that for a whole lifetime and you'll never actually be able to do it. But that work you did that you see no results in this personality, you'll die. And that time between incarnations, then it will flower. And then the next time you're born, that'll be the fruit. And you'll be able to read people and help them in real time because you understand them. And that's kind of like a promise, a promise of this law of how things work. And then the fulfillment of that, which our personality will never see.
Yes. That, if you were telling me, reminds me, some of my teachers have said it's good if you learn at least one way to read people, or like, how can I say, not predict future, but there's different ways. There's numerology, there's astrology, there's palmistry. Yeah, I don't. Some people are doing tarot cards, but I'm not sure about that. But anyway, like astrology is oftentimes used to read and know. And as I know about those people, I still feel like I am so beginner, but I think it's good to learn at least one of those. How can I say? To the addition, to see the patterns, not because, yeah, in order to be helpful. If somebody comes and wants help, but not in like, yeah, how can I say? I have a good friend who told that first, when he takes the first card that he made, and he really puzzles long time to try to understand what is going on, and then something happens and he was able to start reading them like better and better. And today we were discussing one of my other friend, like what he has said 1 year ago, and we were like, he was amazed by himself that he was so accurate, had been at that time. He had said some things that came true in 1 year. And, it might be self-fulfilling prophecy and so on, but you were just saying to do something, to read people better. And this astrology thing just came to my mind, but also like astrology is not saying how you're going to live. It says like how you have been living in past lives, and if you continue the same way, then what results are going to happen. But what is your strong points and what is your weaknesses? But you can, by knowing them, you can take another course, or decide to use those strong points. You can do something about by knowing those things and live a better life. Yeah, those are the thoughts that came to me when you talk about reading the human beings. But I think if you sincerely try to help others by doing reading people, then I think already in this one lifetime you can get closer to that. Yeah. And then this says the time holds an ongoing conversation between countless lessons and their learnings. It's a conversation. The lessons, and then what you have get out of this lesson. What stays when the lesson have passed. Between the love shared and the transformation therefrom. Yeah, like Clover mentioned in the first poem about the warrior of love. And this, if the warrior of love goes on and is not afraid to share, then transformation takes place. And maybe time is born for light who experiences all at once. Yeah, all at once in that sense that there's no time, right? To savior of experiences. One lesson at a time, lifetime by lifetime. What a precious gift time is. How would you understand this sentence? Maybe time is born for light who experiences all at once to savior the experiences.
I think it's an attempt to understand why all of this is happening. That's what it seems like to me. That eternal question of why are we here? And this is one possible answer, so that we all can experience different things, which to me isn't enough. Any more than that, there's just, I don't know, there's too much pain and things that don't make sense to be this disembodied entity, separate from everything else, just for us to experience. But that doesn't mean that I'm right, and there's other ways to see it. And maybe for some particular souls, that experience of time going on slowly and evolving like that's exactly what they need, and it's right.
Yeah, that's what we need to become a light. Another place somebody says that how the master sees that since they are able to see and like another levels that everything is light. In Annie Besant have written this beautiful prayer, "Oh hidden life vibrant in every atom, oh hidden light shining in every creature." So every creature, smalls, have some hidden light. And like they say that master sees that light is everywhere, but some have like more light and some less. And in a certain way it is, we don't know it, but our work is to grow the light in us. And if we are like starting sincerely work towards, if our aspirations are like, I would say sincere, or like, I don't know other words, but if we start like doing more, then it starts burning more lightly. And I guess until we reach to that state, the time is born for light who experiences all at once, to that state where everything is oneness, and there, I guess, experiences can exist all at once.
I think one of the other poems mentioned these two different paths, the one that goes straight up and the one that kind of curves around. I think the people that go straight up, the reason they do it is to help the ones who are capable of going around and around slowly so that they can savor the experiences. Because probably the one that goes straight up, they're not savoring those experiences anymore. They're probably extremely painful.
Ah, yes. Yes, you don't need the experiences. And what is experience? It is like lessons, and the lessons are like, they're painful if you're not learning them. They're like painful until you are able to learn it. And why is it painful? Because we have a ego. We have something like we hold more precious than the others. And yeah, and in this physical world we have experiences because of that. But if you let that go, that ego, then you're able to let go also. You don't need all the experiences, because what experiences you want? I mean, you want pleasant, nice experiences. But what if you don't need them? What if you can just let go? Then I don't know if it's possible to do it. Probably not by just thinking like I don't need them. You really have to face and then see if you can refuse the experience or the lesson. But I think the lesson is learned when you see that there's not only one way how to do it, or you see the bigger picture, like when the love wins, when you're
Yeah,
able to share the love. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of times in spiritual traditions or circles, the idea of hierarchies is kind of frowned on and seen as a bad thing. Uh, but I think it's a reality of the world that we live in, that hierarchies exist. There are people that are more advanced and evolved than us, and that's just how it is. If we were to meet those people, it wouldn't seem that way, because the more advanced you are, the more humble and friendly and kind you are, right? But the reality is they see things deeper and more clearly than we do. Um, and where am I trying to go with this?
Maybe they're closer to the light.
Yeah,
This,
yeah, closer to the light, and yeah, this idea of savoring the experiences one lesson at a time, lifetime by lifetime. I don't know. Yeah, it goes back to this idea of going around slowly and going straight up. I think the people that go straight up, they don't want to savor experiences anymore.
Yeah.
And again, for each their own. But I don't think that matches with the occult path.
That matches to what?
Uh, to the path of voluntarily accepting a more difficult life in order to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
I think those two things are incompatible, and I could be wrong, but yeah, it's just the way that I see it.
I don't know if it's like voluntarily taking the harder step, but I think it's understanding the oneness, that we are not separate. That if we help. In the morning, I was reading this one of the thought from the master's letters, and it's that Mr. K told that person who is doing something good for the humanity or others does not need thanks, because if you're helping humanity, you're also helping yourself. But nevertheless, I'm very thankful to you what you have done. That was a really interesting thought, that you don't need, like, you let go, like, even the thanks, or even you're doing something. How can you say, you do not come back to help others. You come back to help the humanity because you're part of the humanity. You're like one finger of this body, and you come back to help the whole body to reach there, because this one finger could be on top of the water, but if all other body is underwater, then we will not survive. So it's like, how can I say, it's a little bit involuntary, or like, in that sense, you have chosen the path long time by your action, but it's like the choosing process is not like, oh, I will choose the hard thing, but it's like, there's no other way, or how can you, if there's no ego, it is easy. And also, I don't think it's like, I think it's like, how can I say, helping the humanity, what does it look like? I think it looks like being close to others, and giving them hints, or helping them in that way that they will also find a way. They can take it or they cannot take it. Like, how can I say, helping, but not so much physically helping, but helping in that way that they would be more able to help themselves. If they're ready, then give them some teachings or thoughts, or if you have studied them, then you can suggest something. Maybe like that in that space where we are, maybe it probably will be, if we have more capacity, then in the future it will evolve more things, but I don't think it's like in a physical way. Even if it's in a physical way, because also love shared transforms. Yeah, I think there's many ways to help, but to really think it through and to really find what is the most efficient way. And, nobody is forcing us to do more than we are ready to do. Yeah. But sometimes we are in the situations where I think when you start doing something, then possibilities start coming up. And then if you have done something, then you start noticing when the possibilities comes to do something bigger. But if you have not done anything, then you just, this is too much over your head. You're not like ready to help. But if you start doing small things, then little by little, your capacity like grows to do something bigger. And I guess one of the most beautiful line is that time holds an ongoing conversation between love shared and the transformation therefrom. That when the love becomes like unconditional love, in that sense that, yeah, even thanks are not needed anymore. And yeah. So would you think that is the time gift a precious gift?
Yes, it's a precious gift.
Why do you think?
Like if we waste some time, it can't be regained. Like there is no the second thing. Once it is past, it is past.
But maybe it comes back, like a cycles.
Because if today cross 8 around 6:30 p.m., we can't cross 6:30 p.m. With the same date and same time.
In that sense, yes. But maybe next time 6 o'clock, like maybe if today 6 o'clock the train has passed, then maybe next time I'll be there on time or before, and I will catch the next one.
Yeah. That we can do.
So we can learn our lesson to try to be more in time.
Yes.
Yeah. Time is a gift in that sense that we can get experiences, and by getting more experiences, we can finally learn the lessons, and doing that long time, we will reach on the top of the mountain. Okay. It was wonderful to be with you and think with you, and let's meet next month and continue with the new poems then. But meanwhile, all the best to you. Be very blessed, and lots of inspiration to practice, and all the best.
Yeah, you too. And
Bye.
we talked
All the
about
best.
it, so you don't need thanks, but thank you. This is really
Oh,
nice.
yes. Thank you also.
Thank you.